For this problem, we want to graph f of x equals the greatest integer of 2x minus 1, and we're expecting that to look in some ways like the other greatest integer functions that we've seen, where we have a series of steps like this. So it's going to look something like this, but not exactly like this. And I think for us to figure it out, what we can do is go ahead and try plotting some points. So let's choose some values for x. I'm going to start with x equals 1. 2x minus 1 would be 1, and the greatest integer of that would be 1. So I have the point 1, 1. Now I'm going to take x equals 1.1. 2 times that minus 1 would be 2.2 minus 1, so that's 1.2, and the greatest integer of that is 1. Okay, let's figure out the point where it switches from rounding down to 1 to rounding down to 2. So to figure that out, what I want to know is where 2x minus 1 would be equal to 2 or more than 2. So at the minimum, where is it equal to 2? So that would be where 2x is equal to 3, so where x is equal to 1.5. Okay, so when we get to x equals 1.5, we double it. That's going to be 3. We subtract 1, now we have 2, and the greatest integer of that is 2. What happens when we get to 2? 2 times 2 minus 1 is 3, and the greatest integer of that is 3. What happens when we get to 2.5? 2 times 2.5 is 5 minus 1 is 4, and the greatest integer of that is 4. So it's looking like every half unit we're going to be going up to the next step. So we have little half-length steps here. And if you did the previous problem, this should remind you of the previous problem. It's just shifted a little bit over. So there's our graph. Now let's take a look at the domain and range. So you can take any real number and you can multiply it by 2 and subtract 1 and then take its greatest integer value. So the domain is all real numbers, negative infinity to infinity. Now for the range, what we notice is that the only outputs we get are integer values, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. So the range is the set of integers, and we usually just list it like this. Sometimes we might describe it as just the set of integers. So that's the range.